can mindfulness help us to reduce stress in our life? When we are stressed, if you really pay attention, what is happening is we are actually operating from the fight, flight, or freeze response, which means the body and the mind are not functioning under normal circumstances. They are overworked. There is hyper arousal when we are stressed out, and hence the mind is not in a settled state. The mind is disrupted. Our thoughts are all over. Whatever has stressed us, the mind is revolving. The thoughts are revolving around that. Then we are projecting ourselves into the future, experiencing all these disrupted thoughts. When whatever happens in the mind, it just doesn't stay there. It has a subsequent effect in the body where we experience strong emotions, and these emotions are the downward spiral that we hit. We experience debilitated emotions, and therefore I call this as a split condition of the mind and body. We lose the touch, and therefore our actions and our thoughts are all fighting for survival. Now, how can mindfulness help us manage this mind-body activity that is happening? First of all, when we do a formal mindfulness practice, one of the essential elements of the practice is to have this non-judgmental awareness of whatever is arising in the present moment. And when we have this non-judgmental awareness about our thoughts that are arising in the present moment, we actually free ourselves from these interpretations and judgments and perceptions that we attach to our thinking. And because we attach interpretation, judgment, and perceptions to our thinking, we get carried away. And when we are stressed, this activity is magnified. So in the moments of stress, therefore we say, I had actually lost it, or I was overwhelmed. I couldn't handle it. Now, how can we use the knowledge and wisdom of mindfulness in handling stressful situations? The first thing that we can do is what we practice in our meditation, which is observing the thoughts with a sense of witnessing the mental activity. We can bring that awareness, saying that and reminding ourselves, I am not my thoughts. Right now I am stressed, and hence I am attracting all these thoughts. And go and take support of the breath. When we breathe deeply and mindfully, what happens is this split mind-body connection is restored. We are able to think logically. Because when we are stressed, our logical thinking is disrupted. The mind can go to any levels of thinking and make any irrational connections. And basis those irrational connections, we decide to act. So all this can be prevented when we bring this attention to the breath, breathe deeply and mindfully, re-establish the mind-body connection. What we can also do is we can calm ourselves down by becoming aware of the sensations arising in the body. And you will realize, as we do realize in our practice, any thought, any emotion, the nature is impermanent, which means they will arise, they will be there for a while, and they will fade off. And this is the cycle of any strong thoughts, any strong emotions that is arising in our body and mind. What we can do is we can observe this activity. And sometimes it's very difficult to observe, but with practice, you will start getting in touch with this rising, peaking moment and passing away moment. And nothing will stay forever. What we can do is acknowledge that I am feeling stressed right now, my body is disrupted right now, do mindful breathing, and then do a little body scan. Sometimes just sitting with those sensations that have risen in the body can help us to look at them and help us to help them go away. We do not have to attach any meaning to it. We do not have to struggle to suppress them. We do not have to distract ourselves. Just be present to the present moment, how it is unfolding. And in the background, a body scan practice actually helps us to develop this wisdom of how emotions arise in the form of sensations in the body and how they fade out. Nothing will stay permanently in us. Everything is passing by, and therefore sometimes we say in our formal practice, we recognize I'm not my thoughts, I'm also not my emotions. What are these? They will come as strong clouds sometimes, very dense, showered heavily, and then pass away. And then again, what's left is the open sky. So I want to now give you 2-3 suggestions what to do in the moment and also off the moment. Off the moment, a body scan practice helps us develop this wisdom of how emotions arise, stay, and fade off in the form of bodily sensations. It also helps us when we do mindfulness of thoughts practice, experiencing our mental activity, to witness our own thinking. And as I always say, when we are witnessing the mind, we are out of the mind. And because we are out of the mind, then we can let go of whatever is arising in the mind. And then when we build this awareness in our formal practice, we take it back when we face such events in our life. So when we face such events in our life, when the mind-body connection is split and when we are stressed, get attention back to the breath, do some deep breathing into your belly, remind yourself, I am not my thoughts, I am not my emotions, but I can hold this space for whatever is arising in the present moment. If it is too overwhelming, lie down on your back, hands next to you, place one hand on your belly and take some deep breaths in your belly and exhale from the mouth. And then give yourself time for recovery and reminding yourself of this, that this is a momentary situation. The nature is impermanent. It will pass away, not stay forever. What I can do is, I can look at myself with kindness, that it's okay to feel this right now because I am stressed. Just this mere recognition. There's a good research, neuroscience research, which says that the moment we label our emotions, we are able to regulate them because we recognize them. And once we recognize them, we are back to connected to our prefrontal cortex, which does the higher abstract thinking, which also down regulates the emotional disruption. And when we meditate regularly, when we do a mindfulness practice regularly, this connection between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala, which is the emotional center, the relay of information is much, much better. Which means what? It gives us a higher chance to regulate ourselves and save ourselves from damage without attaching any extra meanings and interpretations to these stressful events. Thank you very much.